I'm Diana Maria Murek, the Director of Education at Istituto Marangoni, Milano, and I welcome you to the behind the scenes of our fashion show of 2023 Estrangement. This year we asked ourselves, how could physical reality integrate with the digital one to create a phygital work between technology and materiality? Istituto Marangoni answers this question with Estrangement, the fashion show through which we presented the collection of the 10 best designers of academic year 22-23. A fashion show that was inspired to the concept of individual isolation in contemporary society that can be mitigated with the digital world, that through tools like artificial intelligence and the creation of new worlds like the metaverse offers interaction possibilities and innovative connections. The show is a celebration of these new opportunities, offering participants an experience that is immersive, where the digital part interacts real-time with the collections and explore the stronger and stronger connection between being human and the virtual world. An experience emphasized by the soundtrack composed by Chiara Luzzana that created an original soundtrack conceived specifically for the event using artificial intelligence and that plays live during the show. The fashion show is just the end of the hard work of our students where talent is celebrated and awarded. The collection that are on the catwalk were selected among the 40 finalists where the jury selected the best. In the jury, Francesca Ragacci, head of editorial content at Vogue Italia, Federico Rocca, fashion editor at Vanity Fair, Michelle Francignomo, president of Afro Fashion Association, the director, creative director Nicola Brugnano, nonché alumnus of Istituto Marangoni Milano, Alessio Cuozzo, head of buying in Modest, Sara Ravenna, HR business partner at Dolce & Gabbana, Sara Maino, creative director of Fondazione Sozzani, Louis Rees, talent manager in Eyes on Talent. We were really delighted to start the fashion show with our event the very first day of Milano Fashion Week. The event was at Frigoriferi Milanesi and it was broadcast also in streaming on Istituto Marangoni Metaverse, the Talent District. Like every professional show during the Fashion Week, the front row was composed by the most important people in the industry, so creative director of different maisons, but also international and national press, magazines and newspapers, on top of fashion influencers. The conclusion of the event was the award among the 10 students, and Red Bireka was the winner. Now I'll hand it over to Antonio Patruno Randolfi to tell you more detail about the 10 collections that you've just seen.
E la collezione
Armadio di Campagna by Davide Menapace opens the show of Istituto Marangoni. The collection is inspired by a personal reflection on the aesthetic of Südtirol. The part of folk and traditional garments has been interpreted by Davide in a very contemporary way, going to working on the fabrics, trimmings and manipulations. Extremely interesting is the application of some of the ceramic elements to create some very contemporary embroideries where all the elements have been realized by the student himself. Giulia Toni's outfits, present in the collection Per tutti i gusti, they all represent a digression by the student in all the possible shapes of female bodies. She analyzed these bodies to reach the final synthesis of a little bust, realized with different materials for each outfit, modifying the model's body, making it completely aerodynamic. The study of the body by Giulia Ottoni is getting closer to the dynamic of art in the representation of the female body. Daniela Zhang project, Le Deux, inspired by Le Bourgeois and her own vision of femininity, is presented as a collection completely realized in upcycling, so using, well, already existing garments and recycled ones. Very interesting, the use of labels and tags of the original garments that Daniela Zhang left in the garment while creating these innovative volumes. All the fabric part recycled has been used also for the creation of accessories, including shoes in her presentation. Simone Celli presents us Ossimori, which is his own analysis and proposal on a study he did on design with garments almost entirely realized with leather. Next to leather, we also have denim that Simone personally worked and hand-dyed. The biker, the iconic garment that Simone presented in his collection, but it is completely disassembled and reassembled through some automatic button with a avant-garde approach. Henrietta Kong is the best designer for this academic year at Henrietta, and Lassatrae is the name of the collection. In Khmer means the woman. It's her own reflection on woman, the role of woman in art and in the world of fashion. The vision of Alet Biereka is extremely minimal, and we are able to catch this in all the garments with these volumes and lines. Very interesting are all the trimmings of Alet Biereka in wood and metal, handmade, and they make the volumes very, very contemporary. To begin, that's a question by Brian. Presenting a collection with completely hand-dyed fabrics by the student. These very natural nuances brings us to a very sustainable process that has been one of the strengths of the collection by the student. The very minimal volumes and the lightness of some of the materials, they all bring us to the metaphor of contemporary poetry that designer wanted to convey to everybody. Michael Della Valle presented a collection with the title Mio Adorato Gino, based on the love story of his grandfather getting married during the military, during the army. They exchanged love letters. Collection only entirely focused on knitwear, while Michael experimented with yarns, colors, and innovative matchings. Extremely interesting with these matchings for fabrics and knitwear with a very modern blending. The chromatic poetries and the theme of Michael is framed by some flowers realized in knitwear, decorating all the outfits. These flowers that we found also on stockings and accessories such as shoes, they resemble the flowers that were decorating the garden where his grandparents then met again after the war. La Mancalnarova presents us the collection The Void, where she plays with field and gaps represented by the sculptural volumes. This 3D collection and representation of the garments design a new female body, and also it's embellished by fabrics coming from Azerbaijan, where the designer comes from, but with a completely renewed contemporary modern perspective. Martin Gypsy for the menswear collection, which is down, is the title, represents a study between the dialect, the language of the Martin's origin, and the textile, the bathing suit basically, and the sartorial menswear. These match creates a layering and pattern with a very strong visual impact, and to complete the collection we have a focus on volumes of the knitwear and the application of vintage buttons to decorate the blazers and the knitwear. David Saxborn presents his collection Oh. The name is inspired by a Swedish island where the designer comes from. It's a fisherman island, and in fact the collection presents a whole series of elements inspired by this aesthetic word, but of course interpreted by the designer and presented in a completely personal way. Extremely interesting, the color palette. It starts from a white, reaches some full browns, completely cocooning, just like the volumes of the garments. Very oversized. Oversized is the fil rouge of the collection, where in an extremely careful way, David, with fastenings and closures, it just tightens the garment in specific specific points in order to create a completely innovative volume.
I'm Michela Guasco, the program leader of styling courses at Istituto Marangoni Milano, and I wanted to tell you more about the backstage of our fashion show. As everyone knows, the fashion designer creates the garment, but it's necessary to have a stylist or a creative director that creates the outfit so that matches and coordinates the garment together, providing an identity, a storytelling. This is what we did for our fashion show this year. Every look was organized, choosing the best accessories and matching items in order to make it more interesting, more special, but also to leverage on the identity. The organization of the fashion show, it's a very complex operation. It takes a few days, and once the collection are ready, we have to go through necessary steps. The first one is the casting and the fitting. Models are chosen, the most suitable ones, and we try the looks in order to see what fits best to whom. And then we do the running orders, so the precise order, the models will come out on the runway, and we prepare this on big panels with pictures of the looks. Then we decide hair and makeup, and then the day of the fashion show we do a rehearsal to see that everything flows perfectly, times the music, and then I would say half an hour before the exact time of the fashion show, models are prepared, they do the lineup, so one after the other, and the casting director sends them out.
My experience here at Istituto Marangoni in Milano has been great. I've grown a lot as a designer, where I have learned the ability to create and do my own collection, sewing and pattern making. It's just been a great experience living here in Milan.
It's a very international school, so you can meet a lot of talent from each country all around the world. Like for my example, I met like 3 guys from Sweden, Canada, States, and also me from Taiwan, and we developed a very good relationship and also working partner in these 3 years. So yeah, I'm very happy to be in Istituto Marangoni.
Here I feel like home. Even like in school, it's so easy to make friends, and there is inspiration like from everywhere, even like down on the street. Because it's not just like a normal big city, it's kind of like a big city, but combined with like traditional style, it's still raw. Also here, teacher, program leader, everybody helpful, and they kind of like guide you throughout the process. Also, like before I don't expect anything, but now I feel like I should keep belief and work hard.
Yeah, an experience that I will always bring into my heart, the relationship with the teachers, with my classmates, colleagues. So it's an environment that trained us, shaped us, also with exchange of ideas one with another, and also with different cultures, people from different countries. So it's a unique way to learn one from the other and to grow personally.
This was Estrangement, the fashion show of Istituto Marangoni Milano 2023. Thanks for watching.